Hello, crypto traders and crypto investors. How are you all keeping today? I hope you're having a good Saturday so far. I think everybody is enjoying a little bit of pump in Bitcoin, a little bit of bounce there. I actually posted on Twitter, if you're following me, that we are forming a flag, a bullish flag, and I was already in the trade. I was actually literally was waiting the whole day yesterday when we were going sideways. I was waiting for that break until 1 in the morning, and then I caught this nice little movement. So yeah, I think we still have a little bit of momentum there to go a little bit higher before kind of like retreating a little bit. But the interesting thing today that came out was this news that Bitfinex is putting 12 new Ethereum tokens on the channel on their platform to be traded. So yeah, really exciting. So this is why I contacted a good friend of mine, Sebastião. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Thank you.
Cool. Did you had a good Saturday as well?
I did have a very nice Saturday. Like went for a bit of walk with my girlfriend. It was nice to just get some time away from my computer, from
Yeah.
watching the markets and everything. Got some sun, which doesn't happen very often in Dublin. So yeah, it was like great day. Yeah,
Yeah, like the thing is, like first when I saw these news straight away, I called Sebastian. Like, yeah,
true.
these 12 tokens are coming online. He was didn't have the internet there, so like, I mean, he had the phone, but like, he was obviously like enjoying himself there in the park. So I was like, okay, we're gonna read these tokens out to him. So we have these 12 tokens, and then he knew some of them, and then we kind of cherry picked three of those tokens, and I actually already opened the positions myself. So this is not a financial advice. This is just our opinion on the market. Sorry, but this is what we think. Like, I think there's like potential there because like Bitfinex, as we all know, is one of the biggest exchanges out there, and the good thing is about not only that they're gonna put these tokens out on their platform, they're also gonna uh, do like USD pairs, right? So that's a really cool. It definitely helps like with liquidity, and you don't have to go from I don't know from Aeon to Bitcoin to to
Yeah.
USD. So that lowers the fees. So that's really good. So yeah, then I called Sebastiano and I asked him, okay, which of these coins do you know? Which of them do you think are, are for also kind of like long term, probable good for long term holds? And yeah, so we're gonna go through three tokens, and one is our request network, and then you have RDN, and then we have Singularity. So,
Yep.
okay, what draws you to those tokens? Maybe we can start with request
Yeah.
network.
Yeah. Sounds cool. So the story with actually the whole story with the Bitfinex announcement. It's really good to see that happening, especially like when the market looks as bad as it's been looking the last few weeks. And as you just said there, like I think the best thing, even better than the listings themselves, is the fact that they are pairing all these tokens with USD, which great, as you said, like to reduce the fees, but also it's great to just take away some the dependence. Like now, the way that the market works now, it's everything goes down if Bitcoin goes down,
Yep.
and that's really that makes it really difficult to handle like some stuff, and it's good to see like things just getting like a bit detached from Bitcoin. So yeah, that was to me that was just straightforward. That was the best of the best part of this announcement was the USD pairings. Um, on the tokens, yeah, Request Network. Request Network, it's a project that I heard of a good while ago. I'm not sure if it was at the time of their ICO or something like that, but I did see something on Twitter about them. I did see somebody just mentioning them as a solid project. And so yeah, I knew that like straightforward when I heard that it was like on this list. And the thing about Request Network, what they're doing is they're building a decentralized network which allows anyone to request a payment. So let's say that you do freelancers, you work like on a freelancer platform and you want to get paid in crypto. So instead of having like all the stuff like sending your wallet address and everything, you can straightforward to the request network. You can just request somebody a payment, and apparently they do have a demo there. They have actually, I think, a red apps online, and I'm just opening that. Yeah,
Yeah, I have it here. I just opened request beta. Yeah, and we were actually talking about it first. It kind of did make sense. Why would you want to request somebody to make a payment? Like, wouldn't you just tell him address and just make, let's say that,
yeah,
I want to be paid. Like, I have a talk and I want to be paid. Why wouldn't I just tell my address? But then we were kind of brainstorming and we came to like plausible use cases. And I think, yeah, definitely there might be some. And like with my limited thinking, like in my limited point of view at the moment, and I could already see some use cases. Like I was actually working door to door. I was a salesman not too long ago, and I was doing selling electricity um, providers basically. And then it was interesting because I was talking with hundreds of people, every week, and it was interesting to see how payments, how different payments, just the way that people pay are differ from like one to another. Like some people would never in their life want to give their direct debit. Some people would be like, oh, yeah, there's my direct debit. Some people just like wanna don't trust giving their addresses away. Some like to pay on post. Some like to pay. And when you meet like that many people every day, like with all different use cases of how to pay a bill, then you see, okay, there's actually there's definitely a market for all different sorts of payment. And like the
sure.
yeah, because like the idea that we had here is almost like a hybrid between direct debit and bill pay. Because for instance, like when we were doing electricity, most of the time it was either direct debit or bill pay. There were some other options, but it's basically, let's say I'm an electricity provider, I can send a request to a customer saying, okay, look, you have to pay, okay, 1 ether for your electricity. And okay, they can either just click okay, pay straight away, or they can wait. And it's kind of like a hybrid because it's not like direct debit. It's not, the amount is not taken straight away, because I think like a lot of people like the idea that they are reminded about their bills, but they don't want their money. They don't want somebody else to have the power over their funds, because there's a big fear behind that. Like doing door to door for like months, I've noticed that people were just like no. But if they have a choice, okay, they're gonna send me a request. Okay, we want you to pay 1 ether. Do you want to pay now or not? And then you can decide.
Yep, yep.
I
Yeah,
think,
given the option there, I think to accept or not, it's a big plus.
yeah, I think it's definitely, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, and this is like just only one use case that we were kind of like
Yeah,
brainstorming.
yeah.
Uh,
They have also like I've just checked their website. They have also an IoT with Internet of Things. So you probably can just have your IoT device, be it like your fridge, your I don't know your camera or something like that, communicating to their network, and you can use that for let's say that you get just like completely off the cuff here, you get your fridge has a ether wallet, and then like when you are low in milk, you send you send a signal to your milkman, and then once they bring the milk, they automatically like they send like a request to your fridge, and you're free to pay or something like that. You can like in IoT actually you have like a myriad of use cases there.
Wow, this is so the fridge can pay himself. That's a
Exactly. Yeah, it can request something and probably even pay for that. Yeah, there is like many other. One very classical use case that I've seen for IoT devices is like on insurance. I think it was Andreas Antonopoulos. He mentioned that example on one of his talks.
yeah.
It is like, let's say that you're driving a car, you were renting a car actually, instead of and you were renting a car for a week, but you're gonna be driving just for let's say just for a few hours in this week. And instead of paying for insurance the 7 days, you would pay like it would be like embedded device on the car, and you could just pay as you go. So like you're driving and you are paying like per second because fees are because in this like ideal scenario the fees to pay are negligible, and so you would like be driving and pay just when you're driving instead
Wow.
of paying like all the 7 weeks that you're going to be driving those, let's say, 20 hours from the 7 days, sorry. Yeah.
Wow, this is a really breakthrough idea, but yeah, I've heard different use cases for how you could have taxi that is self-driving and all that. But like I think this is, but how does that relate to request beta? I'm not. This is what I'm not getting here.
Yeah, actually, on these two examples that I mentioned, one of the use cases that they highlight on their website is Internet of Things in general.
Okay.
So like you could have a device. It's like I'm not sure if it's viable. If business wise, it's like it's a viable option. But if it is viable, based on what they're saying on their website here, you could use their network to do this sort of micro payments, Internet of Things payments.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So definitely seems like it has the potential. And another thing that we were talking, we've been talking about this for weeks, or straight away when we met, and like we were just brainstorming about crypto and the whole thing behind it. Is that basically first we need to sort out the fundamental things when it comes to cryptocurrency. First, we need exchanges. We need things that don't require a big use case, because like you cannot make a social network straight away on cryptocurrency. First, you need things that work just between you and me, that just work. For instance, like in internet, first you had an email. If you had a social network, if you had Facebook in the early 90s, it wouldn't have worked. Email worked because you just needed two players. And I think this is first we need to go to look at the projects they have use cases just like between two players. Like, okay, I send you a request, that's fine. I don't need the whole network. Or I don't need the whole use case. Like I don't need the mass adoption of this platform for it to be useful if it works like that. So I think this is attractive as well, because as a trader investor, we're looking at, okay, what is a next step, not what is 10 steps down the road. you know
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely a point there. I think yeah. Before like we go mainstream, we have to have all this peer-to-peer. This like the simpler, smaller use cases all nailed down, so we can go like for the mass adoption and everything. Before we get to like before we get the basics working, there is no that it's just silly to go around thinking of like massive adoption and all this stuff.
yeah, because like it's easy to get carried away with all these ideas. But
Yeah,
first let's get this thing working. Let's get these projects going, and make some
yeah,
use cases. I mean, that definitely seems like something that could be useful. So okay, let's move to the next one. I'll close this one so I have more space there. And the next one is RDN network. And actually, before we go to the next one, we could look at the chart of request. And out of those 12 charts, we're just gonna go through this really like fast in a sense, because it's quite a simple chart. We've seen this so many times. Like we have this pump, and just to sell off this shape. We've seen this again and again and again and again in crypto. So we have this support area here. This is also why I was kind of like, I like this coin. Like I asked Sebastian, which of these coins do you know and which have good fundamentals? But then I look here. Okay, this was a resistance that acted as a support, and I can make this line a bit thicker. Yeah, this blue line. And then it was tested once. It was tested again, and obviously it it bounced, it went lower, and now again it went lower. But of course we know that these supports area are more like zones, and you could easily say that this is the whole zone between this. So we're definitely hitting like this critical zone here of support. And when we have a situation like this, when you have this kind of like falling, people could call it falling wedge, but it's with all these weeks, it's kind of hard to say, okay, from this week to this week, but the main thing is like you get the idea that this is kind of like falling in some kind of way. Okay, somebody might say it's here, somebody might say it's here, somebody might do it like this. The main thing, it's you can see with the naked eye that this is like a triangle down, and that we kind of start bouncing here, and this is kind of like accumulation area. And it's I've talked about this. I made a video, 5 phases of markets, and we always have this accumulation area. But then it's just a matter of time. You can connect these lines really neatly. And then it's just a matter of time when we start accumulating and start going higher. And for that, we always need like a spike in volume. We need to get bigger volume. And we see, we had a little bit of volume here, but it was just too early. And here we try to push higher. Okay, there was this line here, and we try to push out to make a breakout, but then the resistance 50 MA worked as a resistance, so we were bounced under. But again, this support kind of held, and now with this news that it's coming to a new exchange, this might be the turning point. And also like Bitcoin is bouncing off. That's also good news to look at. So we might see, like, if we get increase in volume, we might see like breakthrough, and then we're definitely gonna test this 50 MA. So there is definitely a good, there is definitely some money to be made there. I mean, of course, this is not a financial advice. There's always risk involved, but this is an area I would be looking at for take profit. And let's say that we're being conservative and we're taking the bottom of this resistance area. Like this is kind of conservative, and this is at 0.2, and now we're at 0.15, so that's 30% just by moving from here to here, which if the volume increases, I think it's quite plausible. So yeah, I already opened the position, so I'm putting my money behind the words that I'm saying. And yeah, I think this could turn out nicely, this trade. But yeah, we'll always be defensive, take profit soon, at least 50%. When you're in plus, you don't guarantee yourself 50%. I take out 50% soon, and then I leave 25 a little bit higher, and then 25. So yeah, that's a little bit of technical analysis there for you. So yeah, Sebastian, you're still there?
Yeah, I'm still around.
Okay.
Just getting some tips on TA. I need to improve mine.
Well, definitely, like this is what I like about our little sessions, because like you give me the insights to those things about just about coins, that altcoins and all that. And here you have some TA, So here you go.
That's
Next
great.
one. Yeah, next one that we have here is Raiden.
Cool. Yeah. Raiden is a project that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. No. I've just opened the site here, Raiden. I have this in front of me. So yeah, enlighten us. Tell us, what is this all about?
Cool. So Raiden is a project that I like quite a lot, actually. And again, you just said that, but I will repeat, that's not financial advice, but I do have a position rating. because, as I said, like it's a project that I like. I think they're solving a real problem, which just brings back the subject that we're talking just like 2 minutes ago, which is like just solving the basics before. So what they do is they are an off-chain scaling solution for the Ethereum platform. So the easy way to define them, and the way that they define themselves, is like they are the Ethereum's version of the Bitcoin's Lightning Network. So they work like with channels, and yeah, I mean, we all know that Ethereum suffers a bit. Again, before mass adoption, we have to have like these things like the lack of the throughput of a platform like Ethereum. We have to have it increase. You have to handle like more transactions per second, and that's pretty much what Raiden is working on. They are trying to develop this solution that's off chain, that's based on channels, that will, between other things, reduce fees, make transactions faster, and also like take some load off chain, so Ethereum can keep growing without having like all the burden. Because there is something that most people don't realize. It's like the blockchain technology, the possibility of tracking everything on the blockchain. That's great. That's really like one of the main differentials. But if we are to adopt blockchain as a daily daily if you we are to use blockchain as a daily thing, we don't need like once you go buying your coffee at your local coffee shop, that doesn't need to go to the blockchain. And that's why when these state channels, these off chain channels, they play their part. Because once you open a channel, you can have like all the transactions going through that channel, and once you close the channel, it settles with the blockchain, and just that settlement, it's written to the blockchain. You are not writing like 1,000 transactions, for example. You're writing just a final one, just a settlement, and that takes like obviously it reduces the numbers of transactions happening on the blockchain, and now also like increases speed and reliability and everything.
Yeah. So, but the one question I would have there that is kind of interesting, I think, is for instance, you compare this to Lightning, and for those who don't know, like Lightning is kind of like running in beta version, and it's actually just in last week there's more than 40% increase in the transaction in the nodes.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think
it's
actually it's
amazing.
live already.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Bitcoin. Yeah, I think it's already live, which is great.
Yeah. Is it
It's a
live? Is
really
like
big step.
is the last version? I mean, because as far as
I
I know, it's kind of
I
like a beta version still.
Okay, let me just double check here. I think I heard that it was live, but yeah, it's worth double checking. Um,
And what I wanted to ask you, because I Lightning, I don't, because Lightning don't doesn't have a coin, or does it?
nope, nope. You deal with Bitcoin. Yeah,
Because here, but we have it for this thing. We have a coin, but for Lightning, you don't have a coin. So what is the
that's a
difference?
great. Yeah, good point there. So it was a bit controversial, in fairness, when Raiden, the company behind Raiden, decided to do like an ICO and have their own coin and
Okay.
everything. Because like many people didn't really see a use case for a coin um, on a chain like on a project like Raiden.
Okay.
And despite that, they went ahead with their ICO. They went ahead with having their own tokens. And yeah, so the story here is you can use on Raiden tokens in the channel, but you can also use Ether, and you can also use, if I'm not mistaken, any other ERC20. So yeah,
Okay.
there is a bit of on there, because it's the token is really not necessary, but on the other hand, the project it's really necessary for Ethereum as a whole. So like if the channels work as they are expected, everyone's expecting wide adoption, and then like it will increase Raiden's company Radius project value, and then it will increase the price of the token, like as a result of that use. But yeah, the tokens were not like very necessary there.
Okay, so it's maybe a little bit controversial there, and maybe,
Yeah,
but okay, so what is the speed there? Okay, if Raiden has something to add to the network, then okay, why wouldn't you use Raiden as well? I mean, if it's fast, if it works in the channel, and if it's useful, then could be a
true.
case there to be made that you can just use Raiden. Okay, so it kind of makes sense. So yeah, definitely like if it brings half the change that Lightning did to Bitcoin, I see this as a great success because like Lightning, it just increased the fees so much, and it's like
Reduce, yeah, yeah.
reduced the fees so much. It's a really successful project there. I'm following this guy on Twitter, and I could actually just go to Twitter, and I'm sure that he would be there straight away. He's always posting, so guys, follow. I'll actually post his Twitter account down in the video because he's always updating the news about Lightning every day, basically, and how it's has more and more use cases and nodes and all of that. So that's definitely sounds promising. So let's look at the coin REQ Raiden. Okay, we have it here. Yeah, and it's basically similar, of course. Like this is what we usually see. Okay, we had more waves here. It was not just one pump, and it has a little bit more momentum to the downside compared to the request network. But the similar thing here is this kind of area here. Okay, we bounced off here. We tested one twice, and we saw like a bigger volume here, but it was to the down. It was movement to the downside, and now we're bouncing off here. To be honest, I'm liking the request network chart more than this one. Just because like the momentum down here is stronger, and we see that we're bouncing out of this is 15 EMA, and we're bouncing out of this, so we will have to break through this one first. And just the downward momentum is a bit stronger also, just like by looking at the chart. And yeah, we haven't really tested it here for a while, 50 MA. We haven't touched it because usually you need to like it's almost like this resistance area is almost like you're trying to hit through the wall basically. Have to build a wall, like Trump would say. But you have a hammer and you're trying to break through it. And first, usually, you need to hit that wall a few times, once, twice, and then usually third time is the lucky charm. And here we haven't been hitting it for a while. Okay, we had a one touch here, but you see how strong it was because we got rejected straight away. Here we got rejected straight away, like this long week. So, and then here we didn't even came close. So yeah, looking technically at the chart, okay, if this needs, I would say like that. This needs more power, more volume to the upside to break all this resistance than the first coin request. Because we see here we already went here once, and we already tried it to hit it once, so it's already cracking a little bit. This line is already cracking a little bit. I will tell you like that. So yeah, but still, I opened position there as well, because yeah, it was actually a new thing for me as well, to be honest. Like, because I'm more focused on bigger coins, especially lately, and to trade on a news like that. But I saw it quite soon, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna try this out. Bitfinex is definitely, everybody's trying to get on Bitfinex. Maybe not as much as on Coinbase, but still, it's quite a respected exchange there. So here you go, bullish and bearish at the same time. Definitely request looks better. That's my point of view. So let's go to the last one. So you said Singularity Net, right?
Yep. Singularity Net is it's a quite interesting project actually. They're building a decentralized marketplace for AI algorithms, service agents, tools, and everything. And I think the biggest selling point behind Singularity is their team. They have like a really capable team. I think there are a few PhDs there. Apparently, their advisors are really strong as well. One of them, it's Dave Hanson from Hanson Robotics. He created Sophia, which is one of the most advanced robots ever made. Um I have to say that I'm not really familiar with like AI. It's not really my area of expertise or anything like that. But based on their team and based on the need, like we, as I mentioned last video, actually, I've been involved with the startup community like for a good while here in Ireland, and I've seen the last couple of years a big surge on machine learning AI companies, and I think they are tackling like a really big market. And if they can get it right, if they can build like a proper marketplace with useful tools and everything, I do see this project being really big. And as I said, like the team is just like a big plus on that because there are other projects with the same objective, like building a similar product. But I think the biggest differential, the big selling point of Singularity is definitely their team.
Yeah, and they definitely, have a lot of publicity there. Just
Yeah,
under at the end of their page, you have all these big names there: CNBC, ABC, Quartz, The Verge, Cointelegraph, all these things. Yeah, like oh yeah, I was just actually looking funny that it's that this guy's like some of the creators of Sophia. I was just looking at Sophia yesterday when Will Smith was trying to seduce her, like was flirting with was flirting with her. It was so funny. It's amazing, like what a like how like she has I think like 60 expressions and just like the it's so advanced. It's so advanced. But then the use cases for people, what we were talking about was that this is like an open AI. So let's say that we do an AI project, we just put it on network, and then other people can access it. Yeah, is this how it works? Can you
yeah,
tell more about that?
yeah. Pretty much the way that I understand that, and I haven't really got into the caveats. If you build, you can. I think you can build an algorithm on their platform, and then you can use that for yourself. Let's say an example that I mentioned is if you use AI machine learning for recruiting as a HR tool in your company,
Okay.
you could one build build an algorithm on their platform, and then apart from using that, you could monetize your algorithm on their platform. Or if you don't want to build that yourself, you could just go there and check out if somebody else did something similar, something that applies to your use case, and you could just use that on demand. You could pay on demand instead of developing, instead of, because like AI machine learning is, it's a complex field. It's not something that you build from one day to another. It's not something that you validate from, like from day to night. And so having like an algorithm that's being tested, used by other people, it makes things way easier. So if you could like just go there and buy to you and use something and buy as you use as you go and pay as you go, I think that's a big differential. And I do see many companies. I do see a use case for that in many industries actually.
Yeah, and basically, like this was Satoshi Nakamoto's vision. I know there's like a clash of visions out there. There was this big seminar that all these big names meet, like Vitalik Buterin and the guy from Big Cash, and all them. Like they have clash of visions, but basically, Satoshi Nakamoto vision was that he made Bitcoin, available for everybody. So it's actually the best way to. And also in the book, Andreas Antonopoulos, he explains this comparison. Banks, they are closed. They have closed systems. They won't put their code on the internet and say, okay, this is our code, please, help us out. Like, there's work with it. Try if there's any bugs. Do this, do that. But if you have an open platform and all the programmers are testing it, they will. There's just more people working in it. So that's definitely like the whole concept behind. I think it's in line with the concept of blockchain and just being out there, accessible for anybody to work with. So yeah, like I've been reading about AI. I'm like I'm not a software engineer or anything like that, but definitely it seems like we're going that direction.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense as well. So it promises. Of course, these are risky. These are basically startups. Okay, you have like people that are out there that are experienced, but probably the chances of this working out are, I don't know, 1 in 5, or who knows what the chances are. But the thing is, if it does make it, the
yeah.
returns can be that much bigger.
Can be good. Yeah, absolutely. I think start all companies that we see in this space now, and I could actually say all of them literally. They are startups, and startups the risk of startups are a risk investment, to put it like in a short statement.
Yeah.
And if you are investing in that, if you are investing in any company that it's not really Forbes 500 or Fortune 500 or something like that, you are taking like a good amount of risk there. So like, yeah, do your own research. Don't go like by someone else's call. Just like take your time, read about that, because even if when you see a project that's solid enough, there is like many possibilities that will just not work out. For like there is 1,000 of variables that could just play against it and everything. So yeah, do your own research. I think that's the key here. And just one thing, actually, there are like you mentioned two conferences there. One, it's like the Satoshi's Vision, which was a conference in Japan, which was pretty much a big cash. Yeah, and I say big cash because big cash is big cash. It's not Bitcoin. But yeah, it was a conference that happened in Japan, and the conference that you mentioned that Vitalik attended, and that he called out a guy there
Yeah,
that
yeah.
claims to be Satoshi. It was the economy. It's a different conference, but yeah, that happened. Like Vitalik went there, and there was like a few clashes in there actually. Roger Ver was on a talk there that kind of went off track, and also Vitalik very well just called out this guy for just saying like nonsense to the attendants. But yeah, just to
Yeah, it was interesting to kind of watch. Actually, Vitalik put like more than 60 statements from that conference, just kind of like small little tweets. But
yeah,
of all those tweets, like there was one that I liked the most, and he said, we should stop I think it was something along these lines. We should stop like arguing and which vision is better, and like, okay, like it's kind of like fight of the egos, like who has the best vision. Oh, Satoshi vision was that, Satoshi vision was that. It doesn't matter actually what the vision was. The main thing is there are the problems, they need to be they need to be solved. And some people are looking way too ahead, like, and I know this is kind of like looking ahead as well, because like, okay, AI and opening all these platforms and all, but we are talking about this because there's something big happened, and this is, it came to Bitfinex exchange, so it can be traded. So just like as a trade from trader perspective, but when it comes
true.
to visions and all, we first, but this is like more for software engineers and all. They have to more focus on solving the solutions. But for us, like for me as a trader, I'm looking at, okay, this came on exchange. Let's look at the coin and let's see what can what can we make? How can we
Yep.
make money? How can we make some crypto out of that? But
Yeah,
it's definitely an exciting time in cryptocurrency world. That's for sure.
absolutely.
So yeah, that was that. I think I'll we just can't go without looking at the Bitcoin. Like really, in short, I'll just go through this. So we had this bounce as I mentioned before. If you were following my Twitter, I said that this might be a bull flag, and it turned out that it was like a bull flag, and it was not. I was quite early to call it, but it went a little bit lower. Okay, this is in a magnet tool. But yes, here we had this. We had another pump here, and now, like for me, I think that looking at this chart, we might at least test this or go a little bit higher. Just because usually you have 5 waves up, as simple as that. But I want to take a look at a bigger picture here actually. Yeah, so this was the thing. I was talking about this yesterday, that the downward momentum is going down, and I was actually expecting this to turn around here somewhere, but it actually started turning around sooner. We were going sideways for the whole day, which is also an interesting thing, that you see this movement from 6 in the morning till after midnight. This was just going sideways. This kind of indicates that there might be more and more bots playing the game as well. But we had this momentum was going up, so there was a nice little trade there to be made, and now we'll see how this plays out. We definitely had a nice spike here, nice little volume increase because the stop losses were triggered. But yeah, let's go. Let's look at this tomorrow. I think we will try to until tomorrow. Looking at this, we might try to test this area here. Maybe go a little bit higher, but we'll take a look what happens again tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe this if you haven't already. Thanks for that, and thank you, Sebastian, for sharing your insights.
Thanks for having me again. It's always a pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Take care, guys.
we kind of have
Oh, sorry.
kind of have the plan to do this. Like we did this on so it was Wednesday, and now it's Saturday. So yeah, definitely.
Let's keep going. Yeah, let's make it more often. Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
great to have opportunity to talk more about what I really enjoy, that which is crypto and all this markets and everything.
Yeah, and that is the thing about crypto. Like, for instance, I've opened on LinkedIn. I've just worked a little bit on LinkedIn. Not worked on LinkedIn. I just changed my profile because I still it was outdated. So I just changed it to okay, I'm a blockchain trader. And then just seeing how many people are adding me on LinkedIn, and then just seeing how many people are involved in blockchain. Like I think, like people became there's so many new doors opening out there, with blockchain and crypto and all this. It's such an
Absolutely.
exciting time. Like, I've never thought I would do this. Like, doing videos, it made me do the videos. Like, there's so much things opening out there with cryptocurrency. It brings so much like creativity. So it's an exciting time there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Cool. All right, man. Well, talk to you. I'll talk to you later next Wednesday. We can make a video next Wednesday. Are you up for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now we have a promise here live. So Wednesday,
Well, I
guys.
promise I can't get away with that.
Yeah, no, Sebastian can't get away. On Wednesday, he'll be back and we'll make another video. All right, no,
Yeah,
was
there'll be a pleasure.
that was it. Really. Okay, all the best, guys. Good night.